Off top. Tanking sucks. It always has sucked. The NBA sucks for tanking. Anytime you're competitively losing. I told you a long time ago when y'all was acting like it was okay because you could skirt the rules. But we're not doing that today. We're having fun. Play music.
This is the Domonique Foxworth Show.
Welcome to the Domonique Foxworth Show. We are here with the great Hall of Famer, Jason Goff, and of course, Charlie in a new fancy sweater. But as Jason said, it's time now. It's time for the real podcasters to show up, Goff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Everybody with your breaking news, all your NFL week-to-week storyline. Nah. We are here to talk about the Winter Olympics. Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? We got Mount Rushmore topics, which always are scintillating to me.
I can't wait till we fix baseball. Off season, a lot of people's numbers gonna be dropping, not ours, because the content stays high around him.
Baseball's off the hook now.
Oh yeah,
it's fixing the NBA now.
Yeah, you're right.
That's the sport. That's the sport now. Dominique, do you want to do a down barrel at the camera for a social clip and say, as the former president of the NBA Players Association, we need to remove Adam Silver?
I wasn't the president of the Players Association in the NBA, and I don't think we need to remove Adam Silver.
Whatever your position was, where you ran the NBA.
I was the chief operating officer for the union. Either way, I don't think they should get rid of Adam Silver.
It's not good for our social clip, but okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not here for the social clip. But
we're gonna ignore the topic.
We ain't nothing new, nothing interested to say on it. We got a much better topic.
It's true.
We are at the Super Bowl. I got Charlie to divulge some of his lists. You know, Charlie keeps ridiculous lists on his phone. Charlie, share a couple of people's lists. So we're gonna break down one of the lists, but share a couple of your favorite lists or some of the lists that you keep that are my favorite before we get to the real list.
Well, so I've told you guys I keep my top 23 NBA players of all time.
Yeah, we know
it's a running list that gets updated
he always says top 23, and then someone always asks, why 23?
And I say, MJ and Bron.
There you go. You added and Bron. It used to just be MJ.
Yeah. Then I have my top 10 favorite places to get ice cream. I have my quarterback tier ranking. I have NFL top 10s of quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers. I have a power ranking of my favorite Love Island characters of all time.
Do the
and then I have
favorite.
Yeah, well, I'll get to the last two, which is I've ranked my favorite tennis strings I've used. And then the last one is I didn't even realize I still had this. I guess one night I couldn't sleep.
This is serial killer.
It really
I guess I couldn't sleep.
Serial killer.
I couldn't sleep one night, and I realized I had this list on my phone of guys I would trust before Jason Tatum to get a bucket in clutch time.
Ooh. Oh, you've been into like the deep recesses of your mind. Like, you know how we talk about like getting to the end of the internet? Like Charlie gets into the crevices of his own mind and comes up with certain lists. Wow. The ice cream thing interests me too, because it's like, are you talking about establishments? Or are you just talking about places you like to, you know what I mean? Like you're walking down the street, having a nice snow cone or something like that.
All right, give me a little. So what is it? Is it ice cream like you buy from the store, or is ice cream shops?
It's ice cream parlors.
Ooh. Parlors.
Or shops, I don't know.
Parlors. Man's going to ice cream parlors.
Look at you.
All right.
I just respect the craft.
Yeah.
You do.
The old timey way too. Like when you say parlor, you gotta fight like this when you say parlor.
you gotta say put them up.
Oh yeah.
Put them up. Hey, Buster, put your dukes up. I see the way you're looking at my girl, Buster. Put your dukes up.
Come over here so I can crimson your face.
Crimson it.
Do you guys want to hear some of the people I'd rather have than Jason Tatum taking a clutch basket?
Hold on. By the way,
this is titled, I didn't even realize, guys off the top of my head I trust to get a clutch bucket over Jason Tatum.
That's the time. Before we get to that, I'll let everyone know that we're going to do one of Charlie's lists. Jason and I are going to critique it and improve it. It's the best sports moments of the past 25 years.
Yep.
But before we get to that, give us some of your names.
One thing clearly, this was inspired by, I know Simmons did a million lists right at the turn of 2026 about the first 25 years of the century with like best sports movies, best movies, etc. And it let me made me think of this. So credit where that's due for inspiring this. And then we had too much football to talk about to get to it initially because we had playoffs to talk about. It's like this tomfoolery had to wait for the offseason. We can give it its proper due.
I do kind of love the offseason. Like, I love how easy it is to talk football in the regular season. But I like to loosey around.
The off-season is like summer school for the kids who are doing well, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like you're not going there to catch up at all, but you're going there to like hang out with your friends and still have that structure and also check out the new outfits and who's grown in certain ways. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm going to flirt with the girls who don't got much future.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to say.
I got straight A's, baby girl. Oh God.
I skipped the grade. I'm just here, hanging out with y'all. You feel me?
Yeah. Checking y'all out. I'm here to tutor. All right.
It's step.
Hold on. Before we get to that, I gotta let people know that when Jason first got on the call, he had his back to us with the hood up. And spun around and unveiled on us. The coldest intro to the podcast ever. Man. All right, Charlie, that's what you got to compete with. I'm already having so much fun.
Man.
You think I was built for this? You told me to come with I'll give my first list really quickly of guys off the top of my head. I trust you a clutch bucket over.
So it's clear. So to be clear, we're not gonna make it through all 25.
At all.
Like that's obvious.
At all.
We're gonna have to this has just become a 2-part episode if we're doing the Jason Tatum list too. Please.
This is from February.
Hey, Golf, block out some time next week, man. We're gonna need you back.
And by the way, he's giving this list while this man is in rehab trying to get himself back into an NBA.
No.
If there's any time to drop this list, it's right now.
This list is from, because I have the dates of when it was last edited. This list is from February 21st, 2025.
Oh my God.
So in the middle of last year, right at the start of the offseason last year, I was just staring at the ceiling of like, what are we going to talk about? And I came up with
it's like
this
a
list.
rolling Google Doc. I like it.
At 2:14 a.m.
At 2:14 a.m., that's what you were doing with your time.
That's when the best ideas are made. You know what I mean?
Then Jaylen Brown went ahead and got Finals MVP. Yeah. So
this was after that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But he's on this list. It's Steph Curry, Nikola Jokic, Jimmy Butler, Luka Doncic, Anthony Edwards, Bron, Kawhi, Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Jamal Murray, Giannis, Durant, Booker, Jaylen Brown, Wemby, Shea, and Tyrese Maxey. That's my list.
Wow. Jimmy Butler is on that list ahead of Jason Tatum for you? If you need to go get a basket, what Jason Tatum can do at every level.
In clutch time.
This is true.
And clutch time. And so you put Giannis on the list too.
Come on, man.
Even though
there's got to be like an asterisk Chris Middleton on there. You know what I mean? Like there's got to be a connector.
Giannis, like I get it. I understand Giannis is better than him, but if you give me I gotta get a bucket, I got Giannis in clutch time. Giannis and Jason Tatum. This is just hating.
It was.
Especially
I was sitting at 2:14 a.m. hating.
Yeah.
Okay, so you acknowledge.
He was thinking about Jason Tatum's hairline. It's like, you know what? They got to bring this guy down a peg.
Yeah. Well, actually, Charlie, that would be me. I'm the one who would hate his hairline. Charlie don't care about the hairline. Charlie, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's beautiful.
It's the only reason I'm wearing a hat right now is I'm in between haircuts, which is the worst place for a black man. Well, one of the worst places for a black man.
I am too.
Yeah, but you have hair, though.
I just come in.
You have hair. Like, I take this off.
I come
it's
in.
Straight Sam L. Jackson from Black Snake Moan. Like, there's nothing good happening up. I look like Nat Turner underneath this joint right now. Like kidding me? Yeah. Like, I am in full disheveled mode right now. I'm not happy with my appearance. You gonna tell me how you feel the same way with a head full of hair and then sitting across from Charlie with them luscious locks.
Right. But see, like it's just like the hairline, man. It started a little grow back. But you're right. If I don't got no cul-de-sac, I'm good to go. I apologize.
Book my one-way trip to Turkey right now. Get right for the summer. You know what I mean? Come back with the hair BBL.
I'm gonna need you to book a round trip though, man. I'm gonna need you to come on back. You said
one way, right? You see me trying to skip out on my family that quickly, right? Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be a different man coming back. That's what happened. You got to get 2 one-ways because you gonna come back.
2001, Jason. You know what I mean? Had the spinning waves. It was a different time.
All right, Charlie.
All right,
we're gonna get to the list. Let's do it.
So I have a lot of honorable mentions.
Okay.
Do you want me to buzz through those really quickly?
Buzz 'em.
And also, just as for the audience, I'm sure I missed something. Tweet it at us, comment it. This is my list of things that were memorable. I think were significant. I remember where I was watching them. I think that they have largely held the test of time. Where
You're just gonna kick it off scared. Don't kick off your list scared.
I'm just saying, but people are gonna be like, look, there's so
I
much
don't care what
LeBron and
people
Brady.
say. We don't do the show for them. Don't let the mentions produce our show.
Well, I just
fire out your takes, baby.
I respect our fans, and I'm very happy.
I respect them too, but you got on a cute sweater today.
Yeah, so you can lose respect when you look good. You know what I mean?
First honorable mention. The LeBron 48 special. LeBron arrives in 2007. He essentially ends that Pistons run of that team.
Oh, yeah.
Ironically, I went back and looked at it. Steve Kerr was announcing the game, and he had gone into it being like, LeBron has some skill gaps between him and Jordan. And in the fourth quarter of that, he just keeps going, that's Jordan. That's Jordan. And I think that he basically, from that point through at least 2018, with maybe some brief interludes from a Steph season or Durant's MVP season, had the longest run since MJ of the best player on earth. And this was the beginning of that, where you basically could say, hey, Kobe is the better team. This guy he's the guy. And I remember watching that and being like, is he going to score again? It felt like a true one-man team. My second honorable mention, 2018 NBA Finals Game 1, the J.R. Smith game. Yeah. LeBron had 51. LeBron took the charge from Durant. They ended up losing the game. Afterwards, he had a pretty much broken hand.
Yeah.
And he gave.
Yeah, all-time meme. It's still meme to this day. Next honorable mention. I'm just going to go through some of these fast. 2019 AFC Championship game, the Dee Ford game. I just remember the snow.
Jumped off sides.
Yep. Jumped off sides. Brady gets another Super Bowl. 2001 Super Bowl, Brady arrives and beats the Rams. Like, I went back and watched this to think if I had this too low, because you can hear them talking about that final drive where Brady gets... He's dumping it off to Kevin Fall.
Yeah.
Like, it was iconic, but like, to me, what's more iconic is Brady on the dais, hands on his head, being like, I can't believe I won the Super Bowl, compared to any play of that game.
Yeah, and it was the beginning of what happened, and like that was like a real underdog situation. Like, we thought the greatest show on turf was unbeatable.
Yeah. 2012 Mario Manningham catch Super Bowl. Just missed. Obviously, it's an amazing game. Maybe actually a better throw.
One of the greatest
Kyrie
cover two throws of all time.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have no doubts about that. You could make an argument for it, but because it was the second one, it just dipped out of it. 2010 NCAA National Championship, Gordon Hayward shot against Duke.
Oh my God.
This is real life Hoosiers. And we were all watching that game where people were like, is this guy like basically going to have like an all-time great tournament run? Butler, yada, yada. 2001, the Miracle Minute, Duke over Maryland, where Jay Williams hit the crazy amount of threes. To me, that was in my lifetime around the period of peak college basketball. We're from the DC area though. You were in school with those guys.
There. Yeah. The campus, the campus got wrecked.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 times when I was at college, and that was the only time where campus got wrecked for sad reasons. Mm-hmm. Like, they was all mad, and they went out and started flipping cars straight out of Cole Fieldhouse. Anyway, moving on.
That next one is the Syracuse UConn 6 overtime game. I was a freshman in college. This was 2009.
Can I take a quick break to point out how insane Charlie is? We still in the honorable mentions.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to rattle through these.
Okay.
So we can get Jason Goff back.
Yeah, because you already mentioned two college basketball, one a terrible championship game, and now we talking about young men who don't know when stumping should be over. Like,
well, that's why this didn't make the list. It was just long rather than good. But it was iconic for me because it was one of those games where we watched it during the pregame and never made it out because we watched all 6 overtimes. This one's a sneaky one. We can move faster, but didn't make the list, but I wanted to mention it. 2016 dunk contest, Gordon versus LaVine. I thought that was amazing. I remember that specifically. 2016 Western Conference Finals, Game 6, Oklahoma City. Game 6, Klay. Essentially saved that 2016 73 win team season. It led to a million things, including Durant ending up joining the Warriors eventually. Then a couple of weirder ones. this is just the longest tennis match I can really remember. The Australian Open final, which is Djokovic and Nadal, went for 6 hours. They couldn't stand up at the trophy ceremony. 2012.
You've made me watch that a number of times,
Yeah.
and I've come to love and appreciate that.
2012 Olympic 100-meter final where Usain Bolt defended it, set the eventual Olympic record. And also the 4x1. If you want to go back and watch that one, that's like the greatest race ever, where the Jamaican team, like, Bolt comes down the stretch and just puts daylight, and then they scream, "There's daylight between Bolt and the field." 26 in the last one, 2016 Game 7. Cubs break the curse in extra innings. They sort of blew that game against the Indians. Chapman gave up a little bink, and then they ended up winning in extras. Weirdly, the game felt sloppy, even though it was like I was on the edge of my seat. So that just missed the list. Okay, number 25. There are only a few regular season games in this, but it is 2018 Rams-Chiefs regular season, 54-51 Rams over Chiefs. My pitch for this is it felt like the future of football, and we were right. Even if it wasn't the exact way that these teams would play, we saw McVay as a potential next all-time great coach. He is a gold jacket guy now. We saw that the Chiefs team was going to have these iconic players of Mahomes, Tyreek, Travis Kelce. They are gold jacket guys now. Obviously, that Chiefs team did not continue to play that way after Tyreek Hill left, but it was one of those moments being like, holy this is the future of football, and it kind of was.
Yeah, it was a good game. I enjoyed it. It was ups and downs, the defensive touchdowns, if I remember. Like, it was a fun game. It felt like arena kind of, but yeah, it's good. I don't got no issues with it. I feel like I could argue some of your honorable mentions seem more significant. Like, this game didn't have a whole bunch of significance other than it was just a Monday night game, if I remember correctly.
And it was awesome.
That was just like really cool that the next day we was all talking about it. But,
yeah. And also I want to, for clarification's sake, is it best sports moment, best sports event, best sports event. Okay, because I was thinking of Jeremy. I was thinking of Jeremy Lin for some reason, trying to figure out where that. Oh yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah,
well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if he gets in here or not.
That was it's a very specific Jeremy Lin game, but only game in NFL history that had a 50-point team lose. Or I guess they're the first team. Yeah. The Chiefs scored 50 and lost. 14 touchdowns over 1,000 yards. Number 24, another. We're knocking out the regular season games. The OKC Golden State double bang game from 2016, which I remember. We thought Curry hurt his ankle. Yeah. We thought that game was over, and then he caught fire in that. And really, I think one of the iconic regular season shots in history. Watching him walk down the court, seeing the Thunder bench wave the guys on the floor, being like, "You got to guard him from 50 feet." Felt like an actual moment that was like, "Holy." This is for real. And then you go to, TNT and this is the whole year of like Barkley being like soft jump shooting teams that are never going to win the title. And we're all watching it being like, this little
changing the game.
This is different.
Yeah, changing the game. I believe that was the same year as the Madison Square Garden coming out party where he went crazy in the fourth quarter. It might have been an overtime as well. Like, that was the reckoning year, because before, like, the whole Steph Curry ethos, like, a lot of people leave out those first few years where people are like, all right, they're going to extend his deal. What about those ankles? What's going on? Like, he didn't start the way that, obviously his career has ended up. So, that was definitely a coming out party.
This is, it's reminding me, and I promised you that we weren't going to bash the NBA today. Like, I think it's probably appropriate, but like, this is a little bit of a reminder of like the time back when regular season basketball had like appointment moments. Where
2016 was unbelievable.
You got to see, like, when LeBron, I feel like for me at least, it was when I was a kid watching Jordan, and then like, we don't wait a little bit. Then LeBron showed up, I'm in. And when LeBron went to the Heat, I watched every regular season Heat game. And then like the Steph and the 73 guys, like those were games and storylines that became really fun. And that wasn't that long ago.
Well, think about this. Like that whole season had Kobe's final season. It had that last game. It was, LeBron and that Cavs team figuring it out with, we forget Kyrie broke his kneecap in the 2015 finals and missed a large portion of that season and came back, and they were figuring out the Warriors went nuclear. That was near peak Kawhi Leonard, who had a legitimate case to being close to as good as Durant and LeBron at that point, because he was making like 45% of his threes over that year and the next year. it was just an incredible season. There was I watched so much NBA because all the teams are interesting, but I can't digress too much. The next one is actually Linsanity, but specifically his buzzer beater against the Raptors. And I remember that being something where obviously it was fleeting, but there was a real talk. I don't know if you felt this way, Jason, being like, is this dude actually going to end up being one of the best players in the NBA? And it didn't feel like a gimmick at all.
The old curmudgeon that I have grown into being, I think, started then. I remember watching those couple of weeks of basketball where, remember, Melo was hurt, and then he came back, and people were like, Linsanity has happened. Melo should defer more. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Like it became one of those Tebow-esque moments where it's like, I don't dislike the player. I just like all the noise around the player. And for me, that Linsanity, and hey, man, he had himself a nice NBA career, got paid, went to Brooklyn, did all the things that he needed to do, got into it with Kenyon Martin about Chinese tattoos and cornrows, right? Exactly. Hilarious. So, but the moment that was quite a time. You had to be there, as the kids say.
I can't imagine before that, some things that before they happen, you can't imagine them ever happening, and then they become something that's a little bit normal. That's something that I could not have imagined before, and I can't imagine now. It just is so hard to create in your mind, which I guess people have come out of nowhere before and become good, but his rise was instantaneous and meteoric and nuts, and then followed it with good games, enough to the point where people were like, oh.
Well, here was the list of them. He came out and it was 25 points, 7 assists, 28 points, 8 assists, 23 and 10, 38 and 7, 20 and 8, 27 and 11, 10 and 13, 26 and 5, 28 and 14, 21 and 9, 17
every
and 9.
Backup point guard in the league was like, see what happens when you give me the ball. Every player with any kind of skill set who felt like they were underutilized or, politics. You always had that dude in the locker room, it's politics. Well, I ain't playing, man. Yeah. Everybody felt like there was a moment where, hey, if my coach gave me the ball, I can go out there and look like Jeremy. And he was doing it in New York City. That's the other thing.
Yeah,
and the craziest thing to me about that was also I went back and looked at the highlights of it when we were making the list of this. Is it wasn't someone who just got incredibly hot shooting from deep. He was incredibly aggressive, going to the basket, finishing athletically. And that was the beginning. The 2012 that's the nascent era of the hyper athletic point guard of Rose and Westbrook. And he actually did not move like Rose and Westbrook and Wall. Those guys are one of ones, even in the modern NBA, of how athletic those guys are. But I guess 3 of 3s, or really 2 of 2s. I can't. Wall's a step below that. But it was stylistically similar of being able to attack the basket. And of course, he was making the off the dribble 3s too. But it felt very real. And obviously, injuries got in the way of that and the Melo stuff. And he was probably going to be a step down anyway.
And I do remember players on other teams specifically, you could tell the way they were playing. They had marked this day on the calendar. Jeremy Lin had created some enemies immediately.
The not against me
jealousy. No, it ain't gonna be me.
Number 22, the 2005 Masters, Tigers chip on 16. And I think that one, it was unbelievable. This was peak Tiger Woods. The highlights, whether it's golf or not, the highlights for him stand the test of time in a way that's preposterous. It was so fun.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Tiger coming up with something that we were aware of. It was very LeBron-like, except even better, honestly.
Even better.
Yeah. And that was very cool. And it was awesome at that time because he represented, and I know we've talked about this before, how it was kind of the transition from when our athletes were untouchable superheroes who we made this mythology around. He was that turning point. But juxtaposing that with later images of Tiger Woods, at that time, he was he was America. He was it was before he started calling himself Cobbler Nation or whatever. It was this multicultural superstar is everything that we wanted America to be. And then he started driving off the road and sleeping with Perkins.
The thing about the Tiger stuff, though, not for the where it stands, he looks so athletic playing golf. And also, his highlights.
That was it.
His highlights now. If someone's like Scottie Scheffler's better, I understand Scottie Scheffler's one of the best players of all time. Tiger Seeing his 2-iron, 270 yards, like the violence of the swing, and he's the most creative golfer of all time. The flop shots, the rescue shots, and this was one of them where he made a chip where we saw the Nike sign
a
on the edge. It became a commercial on the edge of the hole, eventually tumble in. That he was still executing shots that current golfers with the better technology and the juiced up balls would not even conceive of attempting. And it's still the case. This is 20 years later, and guys wouldn't even attempt the shots that Tiger was putting
That's the
off.
thing that stood out to me, the Tiger and the not only the athleticism, but the build. Like, you saw golfers and they look like golfers. They look like, regular everyday dudes who got themselves in the sun quite often. You know what I mean? But he looked like a dude who, could compete at a different sport or at some other thing other than golf. And of course, like you mentioned, all the surgeries and like knowing what his career would become like that. Yes, that was a moment for the ages.
Was that? Do you think that was like the peak Tiger?
2000.
Yeah, 2000 was it?
Well, it's like the weird thing about Tiger is you could make there's a few of them, and we'll get through. 2000 he won the Tiger Slam. It was beyond belief. His original swing when he came on tour might have been the best one. He changed it multiple times, and he was like,
when he was just running away from his field, like there'd be moments where you're like, all right, this is gonna. He was the first golfer that I was aware of that would try stuff during the weekly tournaments that he was building a game, getting ready to play in the Masters, getting ready to play in the Players Championship or the British Open. Like, he was the first dude that I was aware of that's like, all right, he's gonna try this shot out because he's gonna pull. Like, how offense coordinators set up plays for later on in the game. It seemed like he was doing that on a week to week basis. He was a must see television for sure.
There's like it's unbelievable. Like some of the videos of just like his Tiger Woods flop shots getting progressively floppier, and it's like, what is this? Obviously, also like the technology hit a steel shaft driver, and he was swinging it harder than pretty much anyone in the world swings their driver now. So like, it's the interesting thing with golf is like, while we don't have the exact TrackMan data that we would have now, like you can estimate where Tiger would be, and it's still preposterous. I am being told that he called himself Kablanasian 5 years before.
Oh, did he?
It was just watching him was so amazing. 2013 Iron Bowl.
That was tough.
The kick 6. I put this because also, obviously it led to Auburn making the national championship.
I'm sorry, you're black. I'm sorry, Tiger, you're black.
Yeah, you're black.
My bad. All right. My bad, Charlie. You want
to? Do you remember the kick 6? Obviously, is one of the most. I think it's one of the most iconic plays in college football history. It sent Auburn to the national championship game, even though they ended up losing. And Saban actually lobbied the refs to put a second back on the clock, which let the field goal happen.
Yep. When I was watching the highlights to refresh my memory, that was one of the things there are two things that jumped out to me. It was like Saban was arguing because a guy who had the ball, his foot was hovering over out of bounds, and it's touchdown just at 1 second. And Saban is arguing, and the commentators are like, "Yeah, he's trying to get a setup for a Hail Mary." And then they run the field goal kicker out there, and everyone is shocked because like kicker's not going to be able to hit this kick. He actually gets a really good kick that almost gets there. What's the guy's name? Is it Chris Davis who returns it? Who returns it for a touchdown? And the thing that jumped out to me was Gary Danielson, the color guy, after Chris Davis returns to a touchdown, he said about Alabama's return team, he was like, "There's no athletes out there, just a bunch of fat guys." Fat guys. And I had forgotten that. He just was like, "Fat guys, fat guys."
That was the same.
Like,
was it the week before, the week after, where there was the prayer Jordan Hare, right? The Georgia game, the Hail Mary. Like that team went on quite a ride that season. And yeah, like you mentioned, there are very few times where the crescendo can build up in a play, especially a football play, where football plays aren't that long. But when you got a kick return and it's happening like that, and the whole stadium is erupting and shaking, like, you talk about peak college football, the Johnny Manziel, Cam Newton, like SEC kind of, that ecosphere that was ripe for that kind of that kind of play.
Number 20, I put the 2025 Roland Garros final, where Alcaraz came back from a break in 3 match points down, won in over 5 hours and 20 minutes against Jannik Sinner, who was just coming back from a very convenient performance-enhancing drug ban where the federation was believed to kind of give him preferential treatment and he didn't have to miss a slam. It was one of the most unlikely comebacks in the history of the sport. 2, it broke through because it was so long and people actually ended up watching that on that Sunday and it became like the talk of Twitter. 3, it was just really important for the integrity of the sport for it to happen. And 4, it kind of set up Alcaraz now, who legitimately might become like a global icon on the tier of Federer and other guys who break through sports. He's really famous. He's 22. And like, we might look back on that being like, oh, the greatest tennis player we've ever seen. This was his
introduction,
his, like,
right?
breakout moment.
Yeah, it felt like the Andrew Jones on a much, like, I won't say like less popular scale, but Andrew Jones, in his debut and hitting a couple of home runs in the World Series, and you're like, oh, this dude's going to be special for a very long time for that reason. Yeah, that's what it felt like. And Alcaraz kind of ascending to where he has now.
He also kind of falls, and I think being juxtaposed with Yannick Sinner makes it even more obvious, especially in that match. But he falls into this like everybody's champion category where he seems to be having fun. He did that piece that Charlie and I talked about on here, where it was like kind of the anti-superstar mentality piece, where it's like, yeah, I like tennis, but coming off of the 3 superstars before, or superstars, all-time greats, is just more like a more progressive mindset, and then he's still beating people. So like, Charlie got me on him when he was like 18, and mostly because he knew I would be excited because he moves like a defensive back, which is rare. And he got me. I'm a big Alcaraz guy. Well done, Charlie. You know what I like.
He's a freak. Number 19, the 2019 Eastern Conference Semis Game 7, the Kawhi shot. Yeah. It propelled the Raptors to eventually winning a title against that Warriors team. And there was so much drama around the Durant thing. And that shot, which bounced on the rim 4 times, gave us so many butterflies. Jimmy Butler leaving and going to the Heat and having multiple finals run. Ben Simmons eventually making down. Embiid forever being perceived as this guy who couldn't get by the second round, even though he's amazing. And Kawhi building on this legacy as this like mercenary solo killer. And it gave us the Embiid crying meme and the Kawhi squatting meme. And do you remember watching that? It was like, holy this guy is preposterous.
And if only it would have killed tanking. That would have been a real masterpiece if Kawhi could have pulled that.
The indelible mark that would have been left.
Kawhi could have pulled that off.
If it had got rid of this damn tank. No, I thought they were going to win the championship after that shot. I actually, one of those silly limbs you go out on, like, I think Toronto's going to win this thing, even against a Warriors team that seems unstoppable. And then, of course, the Warriors had all those injuries in the finals that would help that usher in that lone championship for Kawhi as a Toronto Raptor.
I'm also realizing that game, ironically, is the process, which is the peak of tanking, versus the load management king. It's kind of crazy. It portended the future of the NBA.
And neither of them died.
Right.
They both last. I got to get in one more NBA complaint.
Yeah, of course.
I hate the 65 game rule. Like, I hate how bureaucratic the NBA has become.
It's terrible.
Where it's like every little thing, we got to make a little rule to fix everything. We got to fix everything.
It should just be logical, too, because it's like if you play fewer of those, you probably shouldn't win the MVP.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Like, we should be able to be logical enough to make those decisions ourselves.
It's a bureaucratic mess, but I will be watching the playoffs intently.
We're going to start watching a lot more basketball, but
I know. I'm just less excited about it than I want to be.
It's frustrating.
I'm just joking. I'm excited. Can't wait.
Number 18 is the... Number 18 is
I'm grumpy, my fault. I'm sorry.
Number 18.
Yeah, number 18 makes me happy.
The 2024 Olympic basketball final, which was Steph Curry making 4 3-pointers in the final 2 minutes and 47 seconds of the game. He kind of waved off like it was. I can't remember if it was LeBron or Durant on the left wing, but buried these shots, and it was sort of the arrival of Wemby. I mean, we knew Wemby.
Yeah,
but seeing him compete against that team and be that dominant. Gershon Yabusele had the crazy dunk also.
So it wasn't just a crazy dunk. Yabusele had a great game, and he banged on LeBron, who's trying to take a charge. Like this, my complaint about your list so far, this is my biggest complaint of the thing so far, is that this is only 18.
Yeah, it should be higher.
This moment was huge. Like, I'm watching the game. This is called my family in. My son and my daughters and my wife, and we watched the whole fourth quarter together and like jumping around. And maybe this just happened in my house, but it felt like one of those moments. And a lot of these moments are awesome, great moments for sports fans. This one to me goes higher because it felt like one of those events where everybody in the house cared, and it was cold as What about when Steph, I got chills, when Steph was talking to the sideline, not the sideline, he was talking to like Carmelo and them on the sideline who weren't playing. They were in street clothes because they had long retired.
And all them.
Before he hit him with the night, he pounded his chest after hitting a couple of threes and said, "Don't worry about me." Oh, it was so cold. That's all.
For me though, like I was sitting there watching, like, get it while you can, fellas. Get it while you can, because if this is what the French team looks like now, you know what I mean? It's like kind of like when you got introduced to Mbappe on that World Cup run. You're like, France is looking a little bit more, shall we say, seasoned. You know what I mean? Yeah. That when Steph is going crazy, I'm like, get it while you can, because it's going to be
by the way,
tough road to hoe coming up here in the next 12 years or so.
The semifinal was unbelievable too. In Serbia. Jokic was incredible. We also had the Embiid moment at the end of the half where he actually saved the game for them. Durant didn't miss a shot in the first half.
I remember that. It was like 7 in a row.
Yeah,
right?
It was.
I remember after I guess it was probably a day after that final for the U.S. against France. I remember like one of my last tweets was about how we took it from France in Paris and they're gonna come take it from us in LA, and everybody responded like I was crazy. It's like, what game was y'all watching? they all young,
cold,
and good. We is all old.
I think I think I had a tweet that was just saying that we overcame Jason Tatum.
You just
it's a running theme. the Jason Tatum.
I gotta find. I don't even know.
Yeah, Charlie for no reason hates the LMA new album too, because he's like, hey, Jason's a part of it.
Oh man, he's out here executive producing albums, providing the love that generates great music. You gotta support my man. Your dad, I know your dad is from.
He's from Boston. He's
right.
a huge Tatum fan.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I know that your Drake May takes are colored by trying to troll your dad. I didn't realize that your Tatum takes are also colored by trying to troll your dad.
100%. He's 18-year-old Jason Tatum still to him. Number
Charlie, like, but I'm your son.
Right.
I'm your son. Sorry. Well, if you wanted a taller son that could shoot, then maybe you should have been taller and worked on our game.
That's right. I'm the tallest one in my family.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Number 17, 2008 Olympic 100-meter final. This was the first Usain Bolt won. World record at the time, 9.69, left shoelace untied. He turned around. He basically showed everyone how far ahead he was. It was an iconic celebration. Found it afterwards. He didn't even warm up and ate McDonald's before the race. And aesthetically.
Told you eat whatever you want.
Aesthetically also, like, seeing him almost like 3/4 of a foot taller than his competitors running that way. It felt so alien. It felt so like crazy that this could exist. And he's now obviously the guy who's held the world record longer than anyone in history. Mm-hmm. And it's still to this day, he feels like the biggest freak in a sport. And for those 10 seconds for the next 8 years, you waited for it. And I was like, this is what the Summer Olympics are.
Yeah. I was just hoping and sitting back as a Belizean, in terms of like my mom and dad, I was just like, man, please don't let all this be juicing. Like, please, you don't beat
that
like
sucks, man, but
living
you're right.
through Ben Johnson and all the the Olympic sprinters before that. I was like, man, please let this be natural, because ain't no way in hell this dude is this much faster than the rest of the world. And it turns out he just happened to be that much faster than the rest of the world.
And I think that he gave us a reason to believe that it was true, and it was the height stuff that Charles like. So it's like, it could be possible if you could combine that, like the muscles with the length, which normally you don't get. Then you could make it possible.
Kick he was handing out though, like
they were crazy. Like I feel like my feeling on those type of sports is like, man, I never think that one person like. If it's one, it's all. So like, it's my Barry Bonds rule.
Right.
You still was cold.
Right.
So like, I don't care. I don't care what you say. You still was cold. And the thing that jumps out to me about that particular moment is why it was really cool. Was it was more modern in that he had personality. He had charisma. He cared about, like, he was someone that it felt like you could be excited about watching in. It's like the most basic sport that everyone knows. We all race. It's like simple. And that's, and it's really cool, but it gets a little bit boring because the highlights are, just running. But like that personality to me made it something special. The uniqueness of him being taller than everyone else, and also the fact that he had a little something to him. He'd do a little celebration, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Number 16.
Also, how you gonna have that ahead of, if we're doing Olympic moments, I want night above that, but I'll allow it.
I mean, this is a living document. Things can be changed.
I'm just saying, we just keep going down, and I'll tell you when I can say that night should stop.
Number 16, the NCAA tournament, 2016 NCAA tournament final, the Kris Jenkins game where Villanova beat North Carolina. Obviously, it was a buzzer beater to win it on that basically DHO3 at the end of the game, but it was also Marcus Page hitting the double clutch 3 to tie it ahead of time. It led to the Carolina team winning it the next year, but also, the game was incredibly high level for how good those teams were, how long those guys stayed around compared to what we see in a lot of college now. But we also had peak crying Jordan meme. MJ was in the building, the ceiling was the roof, and they memed him into oblivion in that game where they put the crying Jordan meme over it. And it was essentially just hitting back-to-back crazy buzzer beaters to end a national championship, because there were 2 of them. Was just insane.
Yeah.
Aesthetically, though, that thing and it's funny that like everything that you're mentioning, I'm thinking about what was happening for me in that moment. Aesthetically, as the former producer in me, that was, I think, one of the first NCAA tournament championship games where they did the running floor-based camera. And the angle of the Kris Jenkins shot is from the floor that you see. Like, so it's like shoes on up and seeing everything that's happening on the court at that time and how the play developed. Like, no, that was an amazing moment. And a lot of pros on that Villanova, squad and program over the course of that +2, -2 year span in Jay Wright's tenure.
Yeah. That does feel like
the Knicks.
Yeah, the Knicks.
It feels like it feels a little bit like, and there are other moments, but it feels like the way that we knew college basketball to be. That's like some of the closing moments of it.
Those are all a ton of those guys were 4-year guys. Theo Pinson, Marcus Page, obviously all the Nova guys. Brunson, DiVincenzo wasn't a 4-year guy, but Brunson, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, Phil Booth.
Right. But I mean, it just feels like that's the last team I remember that obviously at the time
over this couple-year period.
Yeah.
Not all the guys were.
Right. Obviously at the time I didn't know it, but like looking back, I'm trying to think of like college champions that feel like they were of that previous era and not the newer kind of transfer portal.
Right. The Kentuckys of the world.
Aggressive. Yeah. Like this feels like one of those teams, the last one of those teams. I will say this though, you remember the game differently than I do, because I felt like that game was buns until those shots at the end. Like I don't remember it being a really good high level game. It was like a buns game, and then
that's how I felt about the Butler Duke game with the Gordon Hayward almost half court heave. I'm like, wait a minute, we sitting here at 52-48, and we talking about how great this game is, whatever the hell the score was. Make some damn shots.
Olympics moved up above them. All right, next one.
The next one I have is 2018 college football title game, which is Tua's comeback. He at halftime. Saban benched Jalen Hurts for Tua down 13-0 against Georgia. Hurts had been 26-2 as a starter at that point. Tua was this big recruit. I mean, it's a totally different player than he is now post hip injury. And at that point, obviously, it led to all the future things of tank for Tua. He threw that final touchdown pass 41 yards to Devontae Smith in overtime for them to win the game after taking a big sack. And I was looking at some of the touchdowns scored in that game. McCole Hardman on an end around. Henry Ruggs on a pass from Tua in the second half. McCole Hardman on an 80-yard touchdown from him. At Calvin Ridley on a touchdown from Tua Tagovailoa.
Judy.
Devontae Smith, a 40-yard one. And obviously Jerry Jeudy was in that game too. This was just speed, peak SEC dominance when they had all of the purse strings that other conferences didn't have. And guys who ended up being really high first-round picks. The running backs in that game, by the way, were Nick Chubb, Sony Michel, DeAndre Swift, Najee Harris, Bo Scarborough, Damian Harris, Josh Jacobs.
Najee Harris was a freshman at the time, right? He didn't even start, right? Najee Harris, I think Ruggs and Judy were also freshmen along with Tua. Like that wouldn't happen. Like it's so rare to have that many great players to the point that Charlie was saying, now everybody got the money.
Right.
Players gonna go somewhere where they can play.
Yeah. That's similar to like those Miami teams that we talk about where there's all first round picks top to bottom, and then you look at the 2 and 3 deeps, and you look at like future Pro Bowlers as well. That's a crazy amount of talent. Tua Tagovailoa has always had some ill to throw to. Always.
I had forgotten that for some reason, and I know why now. I thought that Tua came in at the end of that game. I had mixed it up with, if you remember, the following year.
Yeah, they benched him.
No, he didn't. They didn't bench him. He got hurt. He got his ankle stepped on in the SEC Championship game against Georgia, and they brought Jalen Hurts back in to win that game, and I like squished those together. I was like, nah, Tua just came in at the end of the game. Like, nah, they were down 13-0, and they handed it off to Tua. And seeing this is always a little bit of like a little mind bleep when you go back to see guys who have been through a bunch of injuries and you see them early. I was watching Tua; they were design run after design run, and he was explosive. He was putting his head down, and he looked confident, and
just
even his throws.
Different type of thrower at that point. Very different type of thrower.
You don't get healthier in the NFL, you know.
And also like multiple high ankle surgeries, bootstrap surgery, and then the Bo Jackson hip injury, which really could end his career. And you throw with your hips first.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep. Number 14, the 2019 Masters final round, which was Tiger's comeback, his final one. And I know that it's not like the best he's ever did, but I know everyone was watching that and seeing everyone walk down the fairway behind him on 18 when he more or less had it wrapped up it was up there for everyone remembers where they were.
Yeah, the injuries, right? Like the back surgeries and all the things. Like he looked like an older. Yeah, that too. Hey, put it in the injury category for me. You feel me? You throw a hip out, you know what I mean?
What's wrong with you, Charlie?
I'm trying to keep it together.
I'm out here sweating from laughing so much, and Charlie gonna throw that. I'm also getting my thoughts together to try to make a profound point about the journey that Tiger made from that first Masters being fresh face, a picture of the future, to now limping in his red shirt. It was about to be poetic. It was gonna be beautiful. I was gonna talk about the change of life and the maturation and challenges and how it made him lovable again. Instead, Charlie threw it all off with one word.
Took it to
one word that's gonna get bleeped anyway, so nobody even knows.
Took it back to that James Brown interview. I feel good. I look good. And I have sex good. Woo!
Yeah. No. He said. Did he say I make love?
Yeah, make love good.
I make love.
Yeah,
good.
you do, James.
and the woman who was interviewed was hype manning him all the way up to that point. She's like, feel good. Yes, you do, James. Look good. All right, James. I make love good. Oh,
and he was brought on to talk about some domestic abuse allegations, and that's where he took it. By the way,
that's not where he took it. That's where the drugs took it.
You're right. He was
James was a passenger.
He
no longer had his hands on the wheel.
A black Nick Nolte, like a Thundercat up there, just a Thundercat singing into a microphone. See what you did, Charlie.
All because of you, Charlie. Oh, man.
My bad. Number 13. Wow, we're halfway through the list.
Yeah, it's a good place to stop.
The 2021 AFC Divisional round, the 13-second game. Ironically, the Chiefs ended up losing the next game to the Bengals when they blew that lead. Did not make the Super Bowl. My take on this game, obviously, was all those points in the final 2 minutes. Josh Allen, Mahomes ready to take over the league. Essentially right with that. Looking back on that game, it's really about Tyreek more than it was about Mahomes. Yeah. The plays Tyreek made, when you look back on that, he was unbelievable in what he took to the house at the end of that game.
Yeah.
And people act like the game was ended in regulation. They had an overtime. They had an overtime to win the game.
And they got the overtime rules all changed. Yeah. That definitely feels like one of the butterfly effect games where it's like the opposite of the Dee Ford offsides game, where it's like, you guys really could have, and it would have been a different future. But the Chiefs came back after Dee Ford won. The Bills still haven't gotten there. It's a whole different situation. True. I think there's some players who, as their career goes on, your perception of them changes, and for other players, no matter what, like that peak of their performance is what sticks in your mind. I think about as receivers are concerned, Randy Moss, no matter what he did, after those first few years in Minnesota. Of course, he did it again when he got to Tom Brady. Like when you think Randy Moss, you think of that. I think when you brought up Tyreek Hill, it's like he just looks special out there. When you give him the ball, they found any way to get him the ball. And I think to your point, Charlie, not just in that game, while this is not to take anything away from Mahomes or Reed or anybody else, but that team was very much driven. I don't want to make it seem like it was only him, because obviously it wasn't only him. But I think we underappreciate how impactful he was. Then he went to Miami and made that offense the best in the league for a stretch.
He was the engine.
That dude was
He was the engine.
That dude was something.
Sure.
Where do you put him on like your best receivers of all time?
I mean, he's up there, man. You can't go over Jerry or Randy.
Those feel like the top two.
He's probably top 12,
I
right?
think
Top 10.
Yeah,
I think maybe higher.
Really?
I mean, I guess the question is the question is like career achievements, like the career that they had, or one game. Who do you want as your receiver?
Like
one game. Who do you want as your
Larry
receiver?
Fitzgerald, T.O., Randy, Jerry.
T.O. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Antonio Brown, Marvin Harrison, Julio Jones, Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
Those are the people I think of. But the top two are in Penn.
Yeah.
And after that, like at his absolute peak, I don't think
that's what I mean. I think you're asking a different question. If it's about
Marvin
the
Harrison, I forgot him.
Marvin. If it's about the career or if it's about one game. If it's about one game, it's hard for me to make an argument for anybody over Tyreek Hill, other than like the two that are in Penn, maybe T.O. also.
I take him over T.O.
Yeah,
I take his peak over T.O.'s peak. Genuinely,
that's incredible. It's hard to disagree with.
I mean, honestly, Antonio Brown gets underrated on that because he was insane, but he was also insane on the football field.
Yeah. He was insane in a good way on the field. On that note, Charlie Kravitz having himself a great day. I'm gonna let you go because everybody got hard outs. You got work to do. I got kids to pick up. Apparently, we're doing this again.
I'm down.
Next
Let
week.
Me know.
On Sunday, we'll finish this list for TV.
All right.
Can't wait.
Let's do it.
All right. See you, Goff.
It's a two-part podcast. We don't normally do these. This is a two-parter.
We didn't play it that way.
The final 12 best sporting moments of the first half of the 21st century on Sunday.
There it is.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Charlie. Thanks to all the great producers. Paulville, I love you. We out.
This is the Domonique Foxworth Show.